This evening, police sergeant fatally shot during pursuit of escaped convict. Sergeant Alex Vaughn of the Guyana Police Force was tragically killed while pursuing escaped convict Akim Wong. The cause of death remains unclear, with reports suggesting friendly fire from a fellow officer. Guyana praised for leading approach to gender-based violence. Ghana's commitment to tackling gender-based violence has been recognized as a model in the Caribbean. Their focus on prevention, intervention, and support, along with initiatives like the 914 hotline and safe vouchers, are lauded for effectiveness. Police seized illegal firearms and narcotics. An intelligence-led operation on the east coast of Demerara led to the discovery of a firearm, ammunition, and over 2 kilograms of suspected cannabis. New headquarters for Ministry of Housing and Water under construction. The project aims to improve efficiency and streamline operations. Haitian Prime Minister announces resignation amid gang violence. Prime Minister Ariel Henry has stepped down as the country grapples with escalating control by armed gangs. The deployment of Kenyan police officers to assist with restoring order has been put on hold. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for March 13, 2024. I'm Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Sergeant Alex Vaughn of the Guyana Police Force tragically lost his life while involved in the pursuit of escaped convict Akim Wong, who fled from Mazaruni prison last month. The circumstances surrounding Sergeant Vaughn's death remains unclear, with reports suggesting the possibility of a friendly fire as the cause. The incident occurred in Karu Village, Region 7, Lower Cayuni, Mazaruni. Authorities have dispatched detectives to the location to gather details regarding Sergeant Vaughn's shooting death. A police constable is currently under close arrest, with preliminary information indicating that he unintentionally inflicted a fatal wound on Sergeant Vaughn on Tuesday, March 12. Commissioner of Police, Acting Clifton Hicken, has ordered an investigation into the incident. The Office of Professional Responsibility is overseeing the probe, with supervision from the chairman of the Police Complaints Authority. Headline News will provide updates on the investigation as authorities work to ascertain the circumstances surrounding Sergeant Vaughn's tragic death. On a different note, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell led a team on Tuesday to inspect the new headquarters for the Ministry of Housing and Water and Central Housing and Planning Authority at Houston along the Mandela to Eccles Highway, East Bank, Demerara. The complex will consist of 2 buildings, one for the Ministry's Secretariat, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, and the other for Guyana Water Incorporated. During the inspection, Minister Crowell emphasized the need for a larger, more modern building to accommodate the expanding staff, given the ministry's growing mandate. Construction of the Housing Ministry building, valued at $741.5 million and spanning 5 floors, is currently at the 2nd floor stage. Minister Crowell stated that all aspects of the construction are projected to be completed by the end of this year, with occupancy expected in early 2025. The new headquarters aim to streamline operations, enhance efficiency, and simplify business transactions by centralizing all offices in one location. Meanwhile, construction of the Guyana Water Incorporated headquarters has begun, and CEO Sheikh Bash is pushing for completion before the 18-month contract duration ends. The Guyana Water Incorporated currently rents 4 buildings in Georgetown, incurring significant costs, but the new headquarters will provide a more efficient and cost-effective solution. In other news, an intelligence-led police operation was conducted on the residence of a 39-year-old laborer at First Street, Better Hope, East Coast, Demerara, around 4:30 this morning. The owner was contacted and a search was carried out. The ranks found a pistol with a magazine containing 5 matching rounds concealed in a plastic-wrapped bag under the house. The suspect was told of the allegations, cautioned, and arrested. A further search was conducted, and on the eastern side of the yard, in a dug-up area in the ground, 1 black plastic bag with wrapped transparent packages were found. All of them contained leaf-season stems suspected to be cannabis. The suspect was further told of the allegations. He was arrested and escorted to the Spirenham police station, where the suspected cannabis was weighed and amounted to over 2,300 grams. Stick around when we return. Guyana's gender-based violence approach garners praise, and government boosts oil and gas management with specialized training.
Are you looking for an exciting Easter? Look no further than Digicel stores for incredible savings and a free Easter surprise. This Easter, Digicel is offering an extravagant deal. Purchase the Samsung A05 for just $21,000 or the Samsung A24 for only $39,500 and receive a free kite with your purchase. Make this Easter a memorable one. Visit a Digicel store today and crack open these amazing deals. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoons, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoons Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Speak clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Ghana is stepping up its game in managing the oil and gas industry by giving training to essential groups like the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Ghana Geology and Mines Commission. This training is part of the Whiptail project, where they review the plan ExxonMobil gave to the government. The training started on Tuesday. It is led by Bipace, a UK consulting firm supported by the World Bank, and it is about teaching the ministry and its team how to handle the technical aspects of the Whiptail project. They're learning to manage contracts, analyze reports, and oversee production activities, and this collaboration is improving their management of the sector. Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat says building a robust, transparent, and efficient petroleum industry is essential. He believes that real progress is about more than having resources. It also involves managing them well. Ghana has made some rules and changes to ensure the oil and gas sector runs better. The Whiptail project is a big deal. It's ExxonMobil's sixth project in the Stabroek Block. It's supposed to produce about 1.3 million barrels of oil every day. This project also means jobs for around 800 people. The World Bank and government officials are also supporting this effort to ensure the smooth operation of Ghana's oil and gas industry. Moving on, Ghana's approach to tackling gender-based violence has been praised as a leading example in the Caribbean. This success is attributed to the government's commitment to implementing various programs addressing gender-based violence nationwide. Despite joining the initiative later than planned, the Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, emphasized that Ghana's model is robust and effective. The approach focuses on prevention, intervention, and support with initiatives like the 914 hotline and survivors advocates providing critical assistance to victims. Efforts are also underway to expand shelter systems and introduce innovative solutions for reporting incidents of gender-based violence. Partnerships with private organizations and NGOs have further enhanced support for survivors, including the introduction of the SAFE vouchers and free legal aid for women through the Ghana Bar Association. The construction of Hope and Justice Centers aims to centralize services for survivors with plans for replication in other regions. Additionally, specialized models are being developed for hinterland regions to provide comprehensive support under one roof. Collaborations with the UN system have facilitated the development of policies and programs to support gender-based violence victims in the future better. If you or someone you know is a victim of gender-based violence, you can call the 914 hotline. Don't go away after the break. U.S. health worker shortage. Filipino nurses say they are being exploited. And in the water crisis, Bengaluru faces worst shortage in 40 years.
Are you looking for an exciting Easter? Look no further than Digicel stores for incredible savings and a free Easter surprise. This Easter, Digicel is offering an extravagant deal. Purchase the Samsung A05 for just $21,000 or the Samsung A24 for only $39,500 and receive a free kite with your purchase. Make this Easter a memorable one. Visit a Digicel store today and crack open these amazing deals. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common Smalls make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In Haiti, armed gangs have gained significant control in the capital, but a deployment of 1,000 Kenyan police officers to help restore law and order has been put on hold. It comes after Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced that he will resign. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has stepped aside, and while a transition government takes shape, Haitians are filled with uncertainty.
It's now real that the Prime Minister is resigning. Haitians have a duty to see if we can find someone who can bring together all society and put the country back on track.
Haiti has been struggling with a political and security crisis for months. Fighting between gangs and the police has intensified in the past days. Gang leaders said that Ariel Henry's return would trigger a civil war. Now that Henry has resigned, talks are underway to pick a new prime minister that will lead the country. There are also moves to form a multinational security support mission to help the police fight the gangs. Kenya has put the mission on hold until there is a new government, but the US says the operation should move ahead as soon as possible.
Right now, as you wait for the appointment of a presidential transition council, which would appoint then a new government, a new prime minister, I think that's an appropriate step for the Kenyan government to take. But we think those are steps that will happen, as I said, in the very near future, and that would pave the way for this mission to go forward without delay.
But trust in the international community is not running high on the streets of Haiti's capital.
They go from failure to failure and can do nothing for us. What is happening here is not happening to CARICOM, it is happening to us, the population, and to the political leaders who could not solve the situation. We must take our destiny into our own hands.
Many resent foreign interventions. UN peacekeeping troops, also known as MINUSTA, left the country in 2017. Their presence was marred with accusations of human rights violations and abuse. The United Nations says that the multinational security support mission will help bring extra support to the Haitian National Police to fight against the gangs. They say they're not foreign troops on the ground, but extra support to help stabilize the country so that elections can happen as soon as possible. But for now, gangs control Haiti's capital. And for many, the possibility of an election seems distant as they continue to cope with the hardships and violence they see every day. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Santo Domingo.
Internationally, the US has been battling a shortage of healthcare workers for years. To fill the void, it recruited a record number of nurses from the Philippines, but labor and migrant rights activists says many are being exploited. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Loon reports.
Like many Filipino nurses, Kay Orendes wants to work in the United States. She's one step closer after passing the license exam.
The grass is greener and the house is bigger, like that.
But what many call the American dream has turned out to be a nightmare for Ariel. He's asked us to conceal his identity for fear of repercussions. He says Filipino nurses have heavier workloads than local staff.
They're treating us like a slave, and then like for us, we are like a cheap labor. Say, for example, you have 4 or 5 patients, and then you'll see those who are working here. I mean, those people who are from here, and they were just sitting in the station.
If a patient dies, nurses risk losing their license to practice in the U.S. Ariel says he wanted out but couldn't leave because his contract required him to pay $40,000 in damages if he quit early, even though he covered his own immigration and travel expenses. He also says his recruiter, Ray Raval of Professionals to USA, threatened him. The company refused our request for comment. Activists say these practices amount to human trafficking and forced labor.
Threats of deportation, threats of reputational damage, all of those threats of serious harm can be enough to compel somebody to continue to provide those services.
Ariel isn't alone. In recent years, recruitment agencies have filed lawsuits against Filipino nurses for breach of contract, but the nurses are fighting back. Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, where Ariel worked, told us it's aware of the case involving Professionals to USA and is reviewing its relationships with recruiters. The U.S. Labor Department has sued at least one agency for forcing nurses to pay for projected future profits. Professional nurse recruiters say a breach fee is standard in contracts, as it's for recouping expenses incurred by the recruitment agency or healthcare facility. But that amount has to be reasonable. One study in 2022 predicted the U.S. will need an additional 450,000 nurses by 2025, a gap Filipinos are eager to fill, but one that could leave them vulnerable to abuse. Barnaby Loon, Al Jazeera, Manila.
And finally, the government in India's Karnataka state has announced a fine for people who use drinking water for other purposes. The state's capital, Bengaluru, is facing its worst water shortage in 40 years. It's a result of inadequate rain, overcrowding, and development. Al Jazeera's Manili Fernandez reports.
Tankers like this are the only source of water for thousands of people in Bengaluru, widely called India's Silicon Valley. Inadequate rain, falling water levels in the Cauvery River Basin, and rapid development have reduced water supplies in a city where 14 million people live.
There's no water in the taps. Borewell is also not working for the last 3 months. We have to do this. We don't get it from the Cauvery River. It's a big problem.
Authorities say 110 villages that rely on groundwater supplies from borewells are the worst affected. The Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka says nearly half of the 14,800 borewells have dried up. Residents say authorities are not doing enough to address the problem, and that's forcing them to buy water at exorbitant prices. Kiosks dispensing drinking water like this one are busier than ever. It sells 20 liters of water for around 60 US cents.
Earlier, drinking water was available on our street. That's not the case anymore. Now we have to come to this kiosk with our cans. We have to wait because there is always a queue.
High-rise residential blocks are the worst affected. Residents of this apartment have been told that rationing will start on Monday, with supply times restricted. Government officials told Al Jazeera there's a mismatch between supply and demand, and the situation will be resolved soon.
It's a short-term shortage. Definitely we will be bridging the gap in the next 15-20 days. Till then, we are all requesting the general public to minimize the wastage of water.
The state government has announced $60 fines for those who use drinking water for other purposes. But scientists say there are bigger issues to consider. This professor says unplanned urbanization and overuse of concrete is the main cause of the shortages. He said 88% of vegetation and 79% of waterways have disappeared in the last 4 decades, while the spread of concrete has soared more than tenfold.
We should stop the concretization. We need to decongest the city. We should think about harvesting the rainwater through the lake. We need to think about wastewater treatment. If we do that, yes, there is a solution and all of us will live. Otherwise, city dies and we all have to leave the city.
With months to go before any rain is expected, residents here are hoping things will improve. But their experience so far suggests otherwise. Minna Fernandez, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 30-minute forecast. And that's Safe TV2 headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.